Hello, everybody, and welcome to Flyers Alley. I'm your host, Jesse Bell. Along with me in the alley, once again, after it's been 2 weeks, but it's felt like a month. Gummy Wayde. Wrong sound clip. There he is.
Should be the booze.
How you
Boo
doing?
birds.
How's the
Doing
kid?
good.
How are things going?
Good. Right now he's eating a bottle with the mama. So got him all dressed up for football tonight.
Yeah, who you got?
I want the Bengals.
I'm going Bengies as well. And so is Evan from the Halftimers. We're going Bengie. We're the Bengie squad. I don't know if it's a smart move, but that's what's happening. Welcome back, dude. We missed you. Seriously, it's been a hell of a. Is it the beginning of the month still? I don't even. It's been a hell of a month. Also with us today, we got the mayor, John Street. Mayor, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. There's a little snow going on the ground. Got me a stove. Ready to talk some hockey with some of the best in the biz. I've never been better.
I appreciate that.
By the way, I'm rolling with the Rams because they were my preseason pick.
Whoa. I don't know much about football. I just want to take the underdog. That's my deal.
You know what? I'm happy either way. You can definitely root for the story in Cincinnati, but I got to stick with my preseason pick.
Right. That's true.
Stand for something or fall for everything, boys.
There you go. And the Eagles aren't in it, so no one really do we really care anyway. It's all about the commercials and the food. So
bingo.
And the halftime show.
Oh, dude, the halftime show is gonna be awesome. Don't even get me started, dude.
Dude, all us '90s babies are gonna be going nuts.
I'm so excited. When Linz told me who it was, I was like, yeah, okay, we're gonna do it. Before we jump into it, make sure you guys like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Flyers Alley, on Twitter at Flyers Alley Pod 1, and Instagram at Flyers Alley, and go to www.oldcitysports.com, old spelled OLDE, and go check out all the great other shows, articles. We're gonna have some merch up there soon. We got some really cool new sponsors as well. Also, if you're in the tri-state area and need some work done, go to www.bioallowanceconcrete.com. Use our buddy Frank, the animal. He's the best in the biz. I'm going to get him to do my front steps. My brick is literally like falling apart. So I'll get him over here, tear into that shit. And everybody knows we're involved in the Ice Wars. So go to facebook.com/Ice Wars International, Twitter and Instagram at Ice is War. And their website is www.iwifights.com. I was checking out their merch. They posted some pretty cool merch up there. They got some Bialowis stuff. They got a John Morasti jersey with I'm not sure which language it is or what. I don't even know how to want to say it, and I don't want to mess it up. But it's a cool looking jersey. With that being said, let's get into some alley talk. This segment of Alley Talk is brought to you by Bodychek Wellness. Go to www.bodychekwellness.com. Use promo code OCS for 25% off your hemp-derived CBD oils and functional mushroom blend needs.
Oh, gnarly!
So, guys, Flyers lose series to the Red Wings. So we could just knock out these two relatively quick. So, Wade, it's been a long time since you've been on the show. I want to dive into your antics and what you think is going on with the Flyers right now. Red Wings Flyers series. Let's hear it.
Well, the first game was a home and home setup. Flyers home, then away. It was the first time in a regulation since '97 the Red Wings beat us in our own barn, which is kind of shitty, especially if you look at how the Detroit Red Wings were built throughout the '90s. Right. And then it just eventually took this long for them to beat us in our own building. I'm not sure if some of the coaching changes came on the first or second game, but it looked like our power play was abysmal.
Right.
It just looked like nobody wanted to shoot the puck when this new not even a head coach, it was like another assistant coach that came in. So
yeah, I will
shit
say,
show.
The second game definitely they looked better in the second game than they did the first game. But I mean, it's just the under. I was gonna tweet out, but I didn't. I was busy. They the I know everyone knows that the shoot first mentality is gone again, but you really could see it in the second game. They just wouldn't shoot the puck during the power play. They did score during the power play in that game, but it's just you gotta shoot the puck.
It was Yandel, right? Yandel got it.
Yan slammed it. Yeah, Yan slammed it home.
It looked like that's what they were trying to set up, was that demon bomb. You throw it back to the D guy. Hopefully he's at the top of the umbrella set up on the power play to blast it. And then again, it looked like nobody wanted to screen the goalie. Everybody was just off to that like a little pitch to the side.
Right. Mayor, what do you got for us for the Red Wings series?
Well, I wanted to unpack a little bit of what Wade said there. So you mentioned that Detroit definitely had some wagon teams back in the 90s, but let's not forget the Flyers had some solid squads through the 90s as well. Really solid up until that lockout where, obviously league rules changed. Some say to shut down the Flyers, but so let's not forget we had some solid teams back then as well. But yeah, I mean the games, both Detroit games were, they were disappointing. Little bright spot, Isaac Ratcliffe picking up his first NHL goal in game one. Obviously, we like to see that. Everybody knows I'm a big Isaac Ratcliffe guy. And again, the power play continues to struggle. This is a reoccurring theme over the last 2.5 years here, really. Since the bubble. And nobody wanting to screen the goalie is, for a team that in pregame skate, I see more people practicing tips in front of the net and screening goaltenders, but we never see it in game. Like if you watch that pregame warm-up, they're out there, and TK in particular is standing right in front of the net trying to deflect pucks into the net, and then you just don't see it for the rest of the game. There's no concentrated effort to screen the goaltenders and get these dirty goals. And when you're struggling, particularly on the power play, those are the easy ones to get, scooping up the garbage out in front.
It was funny because I think it was was it Jonesy or I forget which announcer it was, but they had said that there's just no communication that during one of the potential I think it was during the power play, a potential scoring opportunity that Giroux just wouldn't pass it to Cam Atkinson, that he for a good 3 seconds, maybe 4 seconds, was wide open on the right side of the net and just wouldn't pass it to him. I went back and watched it, and it definitely did happen. Definitely goes to my my belief that there's a power struggle of leadership in the locker room, and it just so happened to be between those two. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, the first game in Philly was rough because it just didn't. They just weren't clicking. It was just, I don't know what the hell was going on. The second game, you could really see some spark and some life, but I mean, I don't know what the deal is. But you also have to remember the Red Wings aren't a pushover this year. So a lot of people are getting upset about, they lost to the Red Wings. Yeah, but they lost to the Red Wings. It's not like losing to the Sabres, or it's not like losing to, but they did lose. I mean, they could have won these games. The first one, I don't think they weren't winning that one. The second one, they had chances to win that. And, everyone's pointing the finger at Carter Hart. I love how he conducts himself in post game now. He's just kind of an asshole. I love that he's just kind of like, yeah, you win some. Lucky bounce. That's part of hockey. Moving on. That's great. I love that he's doing that. It means his head's on right. But hey, it is what it is. Congratulations to Wing Sauce. They were chirping us up on Twitter pretty heavily during the game and Instagram. I didn't even, dude, I was getting knocked around all afternoon. And Evan from the Halftimers is a huge Detroit fan too. So I was taking it from both ends there. But yeah, congratulations to you guys. I guess you have one.
It's about time. I mean, they were dragging their feet through the draft picks for a couple of years, and it finally starting to pan out.
I
Well,
like
getting
their
Stevie Y in there really helps as well. I mean, you're starting to see
Yes.
in these first 2 drafts here, you're really starting to see his draft picks playing early. I mean, he's a guy that's traditionally built through the draft. I mean, see what he did with that team in Tampa.
Yeah.
So to the people that are out there saying that, oh, you can't lose to Detroit. Well, Detroit is probably 30% ahead of where we thought they'd be in their rebuild at this point. They're definitely trending in the right direction. And honestly, I think they're a team that probably stands a chance to contend within the next 3 to 4 years. So compared to where we're at as a franchise, I I don't really take it as, I mean, obviously you want to win every game, but I'm not putting too much into a loss to Detroit. So
Yeah, I would honestly go as far as saying they could be a contender next year. They're trending in the right direction. And the thing is it's nice to see those teams. Obviously, you want the Flyers to win, but Detroit's they're a legendary organization. So I mean, they've been struggling as of late. I mean, so were the Sabres were a pain in the ass back in the day too. Like, don't forget that shit. So I mean,
Dominic
eventually,
Hasek days.
right. Eventually, those teams that are that were struggling as of late, they're gonna come back. I mean, it's gonna happen. So, but it is what it is. I mean, I have a firm belief, and I don't know how you guys think about this. Way of thinking. I don't think they should have dropped. I don't think they should have dropped York down because now he's hurt. That sucks. And I don't think they should have dropped Frost down because Frost was trending in the right direction. It's just at this point in time. So I did the math the other day. We would have to win 11 straight games in a row to catch up with, I think, the Bruins that were at 55 points. That was like a day ago. So, like, you really got to start thinking, realistically, are we going to be able to make a run? No, we're not.
No. I think Boston still has games in hand on us as well.
Exactly. You got to bring the kids up, let the kids play, let them get some experience. If you would have kept York up, he probably would have got hurt down in Lehigh.
Never know.
Well, he wouldn't have been there.
Correct.
No, but he could have just fucking.
That guy could have broke into the stadium and attacked him.
He could have took a fucking puck off the fucking foot and shattered his foot against the Red Wings.
You know what?
The way the Red Wings were just blasting it at us, it's just.
Well, you stand a chance to get injured every time you step
Exactly.
on the ice. I'm definitely against those moves. I think Frost and York are 2 guys that, in a season where you don't really stand a chance at making the playoffs, they're 2 guys that you expect to be kind of, cornerstone pieces moving forward. Get them the NHL experience. Let them play the minutes.
Especially
give
Frost.
them a chance to acclimate themselves at that league level.
Especially Frost, because everybody's so confused on what exactly he's supposed to be doing here and what his role is and kind of like what's going to happen when it comes to Morgan Frost. If you let him stay up for the rest of the season, maybe he gets that confidence that he needs to maybe see exactly what he wants to do here. So it's a tough situation when it comes to that, because I want them to develop, but at the same time, like, what's it going to hurt?
Right. There's nothing wrong with developing at the NHL level in a season where you don't stand a chance at making the playoffs. And, it's a lot harder for a guy to develop his game when his call-ups are 2 or 3 games where he's just hoping not to fuck up. If you're going to be in the show for the rest of the year, you can play with more confidence and you can play your style of game. And a turnover on your first shift isn't going to shut you down for the rest of the game. And Frost is a guy that I really think needs those minutes to develop that confidence.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, we covered a lot of the, the scouting reports and such last week, and these players are capable of doing it. You gotta give them the chance. What's the worst that can happen? And that kind of leads into my next thing, which is, Danny B reunites with the Flyers. So I'll start with the mayor with this. I have some interesting, I have some choice words about this. Mayor, what do you think is this going to benefit? Are the Flyers going to benefit from this, or are they going to? Do you think this was a good move?
I think it's a good move, and they will benefit from it, provided they allow him to do some of the things that he wants to do. Obviously, he's an up and coming future GM in the league. He had the interviews with Montreal. Like, he's at a point now where he's starting to get, garner some attention at the NHL level in the front offices. So I also think for that reason, because he was interviewed by Montreal, it kind of forced the Flyers' hand a little bit, to kind of get him up in the ranks here at the NHL level. I think that they quite possibly view him as a successor to Chuck Fletcher.
Yeah, I do agree with most of that. I agree with all that, but my point's going to kind of be hot take-ish. Wade, what do you think about Danny B becoming the special assistant GM to Chuck Fletcher?
I think we need to stay away from former Flyers or former players that don't have a fucking background in being a GM yet. I mean, Stevie Y, out of all the most recent players, and Joe Sakic, those two guys are legends, and they've been all through the organizations of a league. Danny B, I think he's only done minor work. I don't know too much in his background.
We had
in my opinion,
Mariners. He was the guy up there running the show up at the Maine Mariners, but
have they won anything?
I don't know anything about them. I know they have a cool logo. That's about it.
Okay.
But, I do have to commend you with what you said, because that was going to be my point.
I like Danny B. I have his autograph, but I just think the Flyers should just take a couple of steps back. I mean, fucking Hextall fucked us for a couple of years with draft picks. He landed on a couple, but it's nor here nor there. I just don't think Danny B is going to be our knight in shining armor.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take words from my dad, Bob Hangholt, said it last night. You gotta stay away from the former players because it just doesn't work. Now, if there's gonna be a former player that it may work, I really do think it will be him, because his hockey knowledge is incredible. But at the same time, it depends on what his views are. Are Danny B's views in the fact of letting players like Zach McEwen do what he's supposed to do? Let Isaac Radcliffe, with his presence of his physical presence, let him do what he's supposed to do. It all depends on what direction he believes the team is going to succeed in. So, I do think that he could help, but I think the mayor had said it all depends on how much they're willing to let him have his hand in. And I do believe that they said that every single move that Chuck Fletcher makes, Danny B is going to have his hand in it. So that also tells you that probably next season, if not next season, the following season will be next season will probably be Chuck Fletcher's last season. Because Danny B's just presence in the city just overshadows Chuck Fletcher. I do think you see Danny B as the GM at some point soon.
So reading the tea leaves here, I wonder if this hints at possibly a retirement from Paul Holmgren. Possibly Chuck Fletcher taking over the president role and moving Danny Briere into that general manager position. Now, to Wade's point about him not really having any experience at a higher level above the Maine Mariners, you also got to think that a general manager at the AHL level really doesn't have much control over his roster.
It's an ECHL level.
Right. No, I'm saying he's at the ECHL level, right? So if he were to go the next level up to the AHL as a general manager, he's not going to have his hand in as much of the roster construction at the AHL level, because so much of your AHL roster is constructed from the NHL draft picks and so on and so forth. So you don't really get a chance to build your AHL roster. I think bringing him in as a special assistant to the general manager, he'll actually have a little bit more. He'll be able to gain a little bit more experience in terms of, the player personnel end of things at a higher level than he would in that same position at the AHL level.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I think it's half and half, but the experience that we've already had in the past with former players definitely you got to kind of think, okay, man, another former player, blah, blah, blah. But you do have to take into consideration, who it is. Danny B's huge. He is huge. Everyone loves him. I saw him the other night. Didn't go up there. I'm terrified. But he was. I'm not allowed in there anyway. So I'm not going in the GM suite. I don't know if I can actually. I'll find out. But that being said, yeah, I think it's a good move. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, he turns down. He turned down the Habs. I mean, who wouldn't? The fucking you think a word dumpster fire? Come the fuck on. We're not far away, but we at least have the talent. They don't have the talent, and they suck. But it's just I think you're going to see something cool from this. I think if they let him focus on what he specializes in, Danny B was literally Mr. fucking playoffs. Like he was a player, and I think if he hones in on the people that he know that resemble his kind of play, I think you're going to really see some good kind of snipers and some good not so much playmakers, but you're going to see some dirty area guys like Danny B was. So I think it's a good move, but I just don't think people should expect it to be like the founding move that's going to define, how the Flyers play next year.
No, not at all. And I'll be honest with you. I like this move for another reason, and that is Briere's always been a team kind of a guy. And everything that I've heard about him with the Maine Mariners, which obviously isn't much because there's not a whole lot of news coming out of the ECHL, but everything that you hear is that he's very collaborative. He believes in listening to the scouts. And I think that'll continue here at the NHL level. And I think for a young GM and somebody coming into his own, I think he's really going to have to lean on his scouts. And I think that's something that we didn't see out of Ron Hextall. And I believe we missed out on some quality players in some drafts with some really high picks because of that. So I think this is definitely a sign that they really want somebody in a position of power that's going to listen to the people around him. At the end of the day, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And, obviously if you have 80 sets of eyes on something as opposed to just one, you're going to have varied opinions and you're going to be able to see things from more angles.
These are great topics. I love you guys. As everybody does say, we lost Frankie James. He's no longer on the show. We might just bring you on the show. We'll just be special guest all the time. Yeah, with that being said, like I said, I think it's a good move, especially from a player from that era too. I mean, Danny B was such a monumental player in Philadelphia. I mean, people respect the hell out of him. When I even walked into the press box for the first time downstairs, before I went to the press box, all they said was, look for Danny B and he'll tell you where to go, and that's what happened. I'm gonna shit myself, but these players. Former players they're still big in the organization, just like everyone talking like get Rick Tocchet, which I'm not on board with that, but let's see. Hey, we got a comment from Dan Linsky. I think I got it right that time, bud. So is Fletcher on his way out? I would say honestly, I think that it's going to trend in that direction. Not till after next season. Unless they decide to pull the plug. I mean, I think they're gonna. I personally think they're gonna wait and see. You're gonna start seeing a lot of the players that are hurt get their surgeries that they need, and they're gonna wait it out till next season and then let everybody full force go in. And I think that's when you're gonna see the players that are hurt, like Ellis, even Couturier. Some players that are hurt a lot of the time. You're gonna start seeing them on the chopping block, and I think that's when you're gonna start seeing the rumors of Chuck Fletcher maybe being on his way out. Because then you got Danny B right there.
Well, see, I don't think they make the Danny B move if Chuck Fletcher is on the hot seat. Why would you have a GM that's on the hot seat and struggling to keep his job? Why would you have him take the possible future GM under his wing?
Well, wouldn't that be the smart move to do?
It's a power move.
Yeah.
Why would you want the guy that you're planning on firing teaching everything he knows to Danny Briere?
Because right now he's in the so if you got all right, this is good. I like this. So you got Danny B who's in right now, right? He's the special, and mind you, this has never happened before. A special assistant to the GM. No GM should need a special assistant. 1, 2.
Unless if you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly. So he's being questioned right now. And that's in the open or it's not. And they're telling him, hey, man, we're just bringing in Danny B. We got him. He's loyal to the franchise. Everyone knows him, blah, blah, blah. Specializes this way. He's either in the know or he's not. My guess is Chuck Fletcher is not in the know. And they got Danny B because they got him, and why not, right? They're in such a predicament that they're in right now. Why not bring Danny B in? I think Chuck Fletcher doesn't know shit, and I do think that he doesn't need to train Danny B. That's the thing. Like, they don't need to communicate like that. So I don't think it's a situation where he would be grooming him, and why would you do that? I think it's the fact that he's going to be out either after next season or after this season. Chuck Fletcher's going to be gone. And Danny.
Yeah, I just think you don't want to contaminate the water table, right? I don't think you would want Briere that close to a guy if you plan on moving on from him. I really think, like I said earlier, I think this kind of hints at a Holmgren retirement. Everything we've seen from Dave Scott, I feel like he thinks very highly of Chuck Fletcher. Now, whether that's merited or not, I think he does feel high. He does have, Chuck Fletcher in high regard. And it wouldn't surprise me if, a guy that's been a 3-time general manager now would elevate to a president role where he would have a little bit less hand, obviously, in player personnel and more kind of on the business side, which I think Chuck could definitely handle the business side.
Evan Hale checking in, host of the Halftimers. Adding a guy like Danny B can only help the organization. Yeah, I think it helps. I mean, but it depends. It depends on what they're going to do with it. And like I said, we'll never know. We'll see what happens. You don't know until, something happens. But I do think that Danny B is going to be replacing somebody. If it's Holmgren, maybe. Is that what you're getting at?
No, I'm getting at Holmgren retires. Fletcher
Holmgren.
Elevates the president. Danny B elevates the GM.
I misunderstood you. I like that move. But because I personally and like I say all the time, everybody be lying if they say they didn't like Chuck Fletcher's moves in the offseason. Now they didn't work out because guys are hurt. But if they weren't, we'd be in a playoff spot right now. And it would be what it is what it is. But at the same time, next season, say everybody gets healthy, and we blow this shit apart, and Chuck Fletcher's a saint now again. So I think that's a good move. I think that is a good one. I misunderstood you, Mayor. I apologize.
And it's also hard to judge Chuck, particularly because you haven't seen his draft picks get a chance to come to fruition yet either.
Evan Hale says, sick T-shirt. Send one our way. I will get into that sponsor read. Please don't rush me. Yeah, maybe I will send you some. I got a few. This time. We'll get some more. I got some hats too. Some hats are pretty cool.
Well, with talking on the whole maybe Chuck Fletcher being fired already, I don't really see that happening because I think Paul Holmgren kind of like took the leash off him and let him get who he wants this past offseason.
Did you see the blank check comment?
No, I did not.
Said he's got a blank check. Let's do what we got to do to make this work. That is a bold statement, buddy.
I mean, if you think about it, like we traded some draft picks, we traded some prospects to get Ristolainen, Ryan Ellis, but we also got some cancer out of here as in Nolan Patrick, which is doing jack shit in Vegas. I think he's probably hurt again.
I don't care what anybody says. It's still funny to see that there. It's not just us.
I know
that's weird. So.
But in 2 years, I could see Chuck Fletcher either being promoted or let go. He spent a few years with Minnesota, and Minnesota is, doing pretty good right now. They did do a big swing and a miss on the contracts with Zach Parise and Suter. Yes, I mean
Parise. What he's in Jersey now, not doing anything.
He's with the Islanders right now doing nothing. But back when Fletcher was with Minnesota, Fletcher had keys to the fucking facility and tried to buy a Stanley Cup with two players like that, but obviously it didn't pan out at all for years. So it looked like Holmgren was like, all right, you know what? You have 4 years to get us something. And this year this preseason, he went and tried to buy us a Stanley Cup.
You know, and that's kind of why I've questioned Chuck's ability to execute a rebuild in the past, because you've never seen him do it. He's always been brought in situations where a team is looking for somebody to bring him, over the top. He's always been the guy that they bring in to sign veteran players to contracts and make the fringe moves, not necessarily, start from scratch and build through the draft. So, not that he can't do it, but we haven't seen him do it because he's never been put in that position. So
right,
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I mean, honestly, I think I forgot that obviously Holmgren is going to retire at some point, and they're going to need somebody in that role. So I think
right. Well, and they just They just did the Hall of Fame ceremony for him this year as well. So
it'd be a good time.
That's kind of something I feel like you might do while somebody's on their way out in the organization.
True. Good points there.
In his speech, he brought up, all the sacrifices that his family's had to make over the years. And, you could definitely see him maybe at this point prioritizing his family over the Flyers organization. And you can't fault a guy for that.
No.
Right.
We'll see what happens. That's good points there. Like I said, I forgot that someone was going to have to replace him, and who was that going to be? So see what happens. And that ends our segment of Alley Talk. Now we have Down the Well. I love that sound clip. The segment of Down the Well is brought to you by Iceworks Skate Complex in Aston, PA. Go to www.iceworks.net. We're going to be having an event, not really an event. We're going to be doing what we were supposed to do this month. The ice storm kind of whooped our ass, and no one was able to make it. So we're going to do something, I think it's, the 18th of March. It's going to be Flyers versus Ottawa at 7 o'clock. We're just going to go there. We're going to rip it. We're going to have a lot of good merch from our new sponsors, which I'll go over in a little bit. We'll be serving some of their beer. We got a new beer sponsor. So let's jump into this. The Flyers versus the Pens on Tuesday at 7 p.m. So the Pens are doing pretty good here. What do you guys say? How do you guys think this is going to go? Wade will go. Oh, you know what, Mayor? Let's go to you. You're already ready to rock and roll.
All right. Well, anybody that's seen my show and saw me on Flyers Alley post All-Star break knows that I had us going 2-1 this week. At this point, that's looking like it's probably going to turn to 0-3. Again, I kind of always look at things through the orange colored glasses. And I will never openly say in any public setting or private that the Penguins are going to beat the Flyers, but I will say this: it wouldn't surprise me if the Penguins beat the Flyers. I'm not saying it. I will not say the other thing.
I'll still go Flyers beat the Penguins. I'm going that direction. Wade, what do you think?
I'm going that direction, but I'm not.
You're not saying it.
It wouldn't surprise me if it went the other way.
I just beat Pittsburgh. At this point, for the rest of the year, just beat Pittsburgh.
I love that. Yep. Daniel Linsky, please tell me Risto won't go. I think they're actually in the process of doing his thing now. He said he wanted to stay. The Flyers said that they want him to stay. They're going to figure that out. And
yeah,
I got to justify what they gave up for him.
What, Hake?
Well, there was a first round pick in there as well.
Yeah.
Well, it also that goes with my thing is I'm done with picks. I'm done with picks. For the love of God, I am done with picks because you know what happens when we get picks? They don't fucking work out.
Well, that was with the old management, okay?
Okay, well, I'm just saying, let's take a year off. All right, look at who we got.
This year, we have a chance to have a top 5 draft pick as of right now.
But this year, if no one got hurt, we wouldn't even be worried about it. So,
yeah, well,
gotta pump the brakes on that.
You will not hurt. People get hurt.
They do. That's what I'm saying. So let's see what happens next year. It is what it is. There's not too Shane Wright. There's a couple guys, but I mean, there's not too much. So we'll see what happens. I mean, are we doing a draft show? We always do a draft show. So
yeah, we did it earlier. Yeah,
we have more people now. So to this one,
yeah, we actually could do the entire fucking draft if you wanted.
We're moving along here. We got a New Jersey show now. So I mean, we're going. We're moving. I do think I hope the Flyers beat the Penguins. We all hope the Flyers beat the Penguins, like Wade said. Let's do that one. So we, for the love of God, I don't want to hear that. I got a guy at work, Don Curry. Yeah, I don't want to hear that shit. I'll never let me.
Usually he chimes in every once in a while with the comments.
He's around.
Yeah, punish him for acquiring and then extending former Flyer Jeff Carter.
Yeah, that was a Hextall move right there.
Punish Hextall.
Oh, you're 35? Oh, here's a contract extension.
Greg, our buddy Greg Montour checking in. Move Lindblom off that first line. Try Radcliffe or McEwen up there. And
I'd put McEwen up there.
Yeah, you're damn right you would. Daniel Linsky, Schittsburg. Yes, brother. Always. Let's get back to Greg. Greg, I love Greg. He's good for him. Yeah, you got to make the decision on Lindblom. You have to sometime soon, dude. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, if you move him.
He started to turn it around, though, when we started moving him up. It seems like
as his hair gets longer, he starts getting better. You notice his hair starting to come out of his helmet a little bit. It's like the Metallica.
I like that take.
When they cut their hair, they started sucking. Once he gets his hair back, he'll be in the flow state.
To be honest, he didn't cut his hair, okay?
But, I didn't want to.
All right.
Oh, it's just.
Oh, no, why you got to take it there?
Because I'm that fucking guy.
That's his job.
If I don't take it there, somebody in the comments will.
Anyway.
Maybe he's getting some hairstyle points from McEwen.
McEwen's just the full. Yeah, I really like Radcliffe. I really like Radcliffe. Dude.
I don't think Radcliffe earned enough time to be bumped up on the top two. McEwen, he's been hustling since the day we fucking got him.
It's great. Our guy Kyle Wells from Nux Talks asked me if I could get him with McEwen for an interview, and I'm like, I can't because of the media. It's not me, but he told me when we got him. Well, when we got Kyle for Nux Talk, when we got that on the network, he was like, McEwen. Everyone talks so highly of McEwen, and now we see why. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, he was trying to stir shit up the other night, last night too.
Of course.
I mean, he's an absolute beauty. I fucking love that guy. He's a great
kid.
Of course. Just saying.
He was also sticking up for a couple of teammates. Some shots happened during the game that, didn't get called or whatever.
His hits.
Mayhew fucking.
That was rough.
I don't know if he toe picked, but he ate the boards.
Yeah, dude, that was rough.
So McEwen's just there to kind of like be a captain and stick up for your team or something. So
that was a fucking penalty. They didn't call that. That upsets. Even the announcers were even like, dude, that's a penalty. That's an absolute penalty. They didn't call that. That was a trip. That was an absolute trip. So,
yeah, that's why I said I don't know if it was a toe pick.
Yeah, we're gonna call it a fucking penalty. But okay, so then move on from that. We got another game. We got the Flyers versus the Capitals on Thursday, 7 p.m. We're 1-0 with the Capitals, so we do relatively good against the Capitals.
We always play them well.
Elliott had their number. You remember that? Elliott, it was a spoon wall to the
staring down Ovechkin with that slap shot, and it's just like, I'm like, why is it normally Sean Couturier is all over Ovechkin, but with him being out, I honestly think that fucking Ovechkin may even get a hat trick against us.
Whoa.
You might want to check the odds on that. That might not be a bad value bet.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of that.
I mean, I'm
not a fan of it, but you got to recognize the reality
of
the situation as well. I mean, that's a great point you bring up there, Wade. I mean, you do usually see Couturier draped all over Ovechkin, and he's a Selke caliber guy. He's somebody that's in the conversation for the Selke every year. So,
what are we gonna do? Put Giroux on him? Ovechkin would just eat him.
I wouldn't mind seeing Lotz on him.
That'd be a good backup.
Yeah. Well, so and also you have to understand. So there was a big deal in the media. Big deal that Brassard came back. He's out again.
That's probably why we sent Morgan Frost back down, because he came back because of contract. He has a one-way contract. That's
he came back. Yeah, 100%. But at the same time, like, look what you said. So Mike Yo
shut him down for the rest of the year.
Mike Yo had said that he was feeling he was a little like hurt, so he just didn't play at all. Like these guys, man, I love Derek Brassard and Wade. You were right when we got him. You're like, you're gonna love this guy. I love Derek Brassard. He actually looks like my buddy AJ's younger brother Scott Simon. Drop a little Scott Simon in there. But these guys that are getting hurt, man. Like you have to make that decision, dude. You got.
But it's also up to the players and the medical staff to see if they are clear to play.
So here's the thing now: the medical staff is under an absolute microscope at this point. That's gonna be the next thing you hear come out is that this is what's happening. They're gonna be getting you got to get a new medical staff at this point. Everyone's hurt. People are hurt all the time. They're basically the players are going saying I don't feel right, and these guys are letting them play. Like it's not okay. You gotta. Like our buddy Wade Allison, not going to get into it. Like I said, our conversations are off the record, so I'm not going to bring it on.
Right.
It is what it is. Just
he went and got a second opinion.
Right. So
that's not from your conversation. That was in the media that he went and got a second opinion on his, I believe it was his elbow at the time or his shoulder.
It's his. So it was his elbow. He hyperextended his elbow in the Phantoms. His injury at that injury. No, his hyperextended his elbow with the Flyers the last time. His injury at the beginning of the year isn't the one he has now. So
right,
he's
a different injury.
But he'll be back. Like I said, not going to state when because it's just not. I'm not that kind of reporter. Take some notes.
Send the scouting staff down to NovaCare. Start picking some doctors.
Exactly. And with that being said, I'm gonna say I think we're gonna continue. We're gonna go 2-0 against the Capitals. We do play them. I think like 2 more times after this game. So we got a rough schedule. Yeah. Plus we do have weekdays in the alley, hosted by Jess Hess, and we got Donnie Hockey down there with her. They'll be covering the games that are gonna happen midweek. They'll probably cover the rest of it. So don't want to get too much into it, but I'm saying we're taking the Caps. I'm going to say that. And that's all I got from Milestone Tracker. Oh, no. That was down the well. Here's Milestone
That was down the well.
Milestone Tracker. Milestone Tracker is brought to you by Loogaroo. Custom clothing line. Go to www.loogaroo.co. This guy's the man, former player, Colin Mulvey. Got in contact with him. He's awesome. He's going to start. He's making a Flyers Alley jersey. It's looking pretty good. Awesome. Hooking him up with Ice Wars to maybe be their guy as well. We could probably bring him on the show at some point. That being said, congratulations to Zach McEwen for playing his 100th game in the NHL. I didn't add it, and the mayor did bring it up. It's also Isaac Radcliffe with his first NHL goal, correct? So
that was against the Red Wings first game?
Yes.
Yeah, we thought that McEwen got it, but Radcliffe was in the front doing a screen, and he got it. So that's great. I mean,
doing exactly what he needs to do with that gigantic body of his.
Dude, he's huge.
In front of that net.
He's absolutely huge. Like, I don't understand.
Mike Knuble 2.0.
Yeah. Knuble wasn't even that big of a player. He just got
played so much bigger than he was.
Yes.
It's crazy.
I got a pair of his skates.
Watching guys play too, like Mo Sider and like Radcliffe and Lucas Raymond. Dude, there's some good rookies out there. The Detroit Red Wings were blessed with Lucas Raymond and Mo Sider. Mo Sider's a monster. Like you can't deny that.
PK.
Dude, he was just dude, they were destroying Provorov. Did anybody else notice that? Provorov was getting his ass kicked. He was all over the place. They were picking on him. I don't like that. But exposure. Just want to say that. But congratulations to Isaac Radcliffe again for your first NHL goal. And Zach McEwen plays his 100th game in NHL. That's great. This is going to be an interesting one. the Beaut of the Week. So, Flyers Alley Beaut of the Week is sponsored by Sterling Pig Brewery. Now, this is our new, if you can't tell, this is our new sponsor. I have their beer here, the Snuffler IPA. Now, they gave me 3 beers to choose from. One was the Snuffler. The other one was the Shoat. The Shoat is actually 2018's like beer of the year winner. And the other one is a February. It's called February AF, which stands for February as fuck. That being said, this is my favorite one out of them. And this is kind of how we're going to do this from now on, okay? The mayor, I will get you some. Wait, I got a hat and a t-shirt for you.
To it.
Look at that. Perfect pour because Jesse from Delco knows what the fuck he's doing. But with this thing, the Snuffler IPA is their flagship. It's easy drinking IPA with hoppy and citrus and tropical fruit flavor. Let me get a little bit of Anyway, that being said, go to www.sterlingpig.com. They have a place in Media, Pennsylvania. Has a restaurant, has merch, has everything you could want. I was just in there with Charlotte the other day. Charlotte carried out all the merch, and she was. It was a little while.
Yeah,
I take her
Putting her to work. Child labor here, Admiral.
Hey man, she comes with me everywhere I go. We get a Total Wine every week. Anyway, that being said, the Beaut of the Week. I didn't write one down. Sponsored by Sterling Pig. Wade, Beaut of the Week. Who you got? Who you got?
Yeah.
Tough.
It's tough. I'll give it to our boy McEwen.
Yes.
Showing up, running his fucking body into the boards with people. So. Second runner-up, close one, would be Lawton.
Oh, I like this. Let's do 3.
But,
Yes, 3.
Do 3.
Yeah. It's hard. It'll be hard to do 3.
I'll take the SATs next, Jess.
Yeah, I don't got a third one.
Whoa. All right, Mayor.
Yeah.
Let's go to you. Let's go to the mayor.
I think it's hard to deny Lawton. To me, I think in first place though, you got to go with Isaac Ratcliffe. He's starting to put everything together. I'm a big Ratcliffe guy. I'm going to continue to ride with him. And when you think about a beaut, right, a guy who's this guy's a fucking beauty. You think of just this big, rough and tumble, throwing his weight around guy. And to me, that is Isaac Ratcliffe. So I think I'm going Ratcliffe 1, Lawtz 2, because once again, I mean, big time guy, big time playmaker, shows up when you need him most. And 3, I'm going to go with Carter Hart.
Oh,
he's standing on his head continually all season. And he's also standing in there with some tough questions at the podium. And, there's definitely some noise being made. You referenced it earlier, Admiral. He's, not that he's on the hot seat, but in some people's opinions, he should be. And I think those people are clearly wrong. And he's taking it all in stride. I think that sports psychologist that he's been working with since he was a kid is really paying off here. He's showing some mental toughness both on the ice and at the podium. So Carter Hart with a nice third mention there.
Yeah, I got to go with McEwen. I like your picks. Carter Hart's a good one too because I do agree with that. So I won't take yours. I got to go McEwen 1, Ratcliffe 2.
Your boy.
Yes, I mean I rep McEwen hard. Oh boy, McEwen 1. I mean you can't disagree with that. I mean he's regardless of how the team's doing, he's out there. He's still laying the body on everyone, man. He's a Philadelphia Flyer. He just is. He's what we need. I think Ratcliffe for sure. He is another. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing, like you said, in front of the net, big body, laying it down. I do think you may see him come up with a little bit of a wrist injury that's about to happen. I did see that. I don't know if anyone else noticed that. He got hit with the puck in the wrist, late in third period. kind of laboring it, but didn't get off the ice and was still checking people. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but I think I did catch it a little bit. I could go to Lutz for my third one. I have to. I mean, I'm actually mad that I had to put him at 3, but he's just – I don't know, man. These 3 guys are the ones that are kind of I think Taryn Hatcher and I think it was Al Morgani were talking. Scott Lawton is the guy that I think you hear in the locker room probably more than anyone else. He's the next leader of the Flyers, regardless of, what I've said in the past episodes about like the culture change that's happening. I think Scott Lawton needs to be the next captain of this team. I know it's Couturier, but at the same time, when do you see Scott Lawton hurt? Knock on wood. Couturier's hurt. He's not helping us. He's hurt right now. Giroux's most likely going to leave at the trade deadline. And then who? It's got to be Scott Lawton. It has to be.
I like that take.
He does what he has to do. Goes to dirty areas, checks what he has to, sticks up for his team. Kind of sounds like a Flyer captain to me. Just saying.
In a season like this, you're starting to see more and more why he was untouchable at the deadline 2 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. Goes all the places that players don't want to go, going deep into the corners on the 4, or just even going through the middle for a deflection in front of that net where 2 defenders are there, they're just going to rip your fucking head off. But
I've said it before. Every now and then he pulls out some Danny Dangles, man.
He does randomly, and it's great what he does because like I was saying with me and Frank were watching the game the one night. We both looked at each other like, what just happened there? He comes out of nowhere with the dangles. I like it. But yeah,
it's almost like a random firework on a Saturday night. It is. He's not expecting it.
It is. And with that being said, I think that's all we got. We do have a cool thing happening with us next Sunday. I believe it's next Sunday. As you know, Flyers Alley and Old City Sports is very well in depth and into the Ice Wars culture right now. We are going to have Brad Wingfield on next Sunday. I believe it's at 1 o'clock. I think we're going to rip it at 1 o'clock. He's on the West Coast, so we're going to do that. We're going to bring him on, talk about being a judge for Ice Wars. Talk about some of his days on the Trashers, other things that he done in life. I mean, obviously, Flyers Alley is a place where people come and spill it. So we're going to do that. And I also have another good one. Gino Olczyk is coming on after him. So for people that didn't know, he did play 2 seasons with the Flyers. So Flyers Alley. And he's heavily involved in Ice Wars. So we are going to be going back and forth between Flyers culture and Ice Wars until they get their own podcast up and running, which will be in the works at some point. But until that happens, definitely go like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Flyers Alley, on Twitter at Flyers Alley Pod 1, and Instagram at Flyers Alley. Go to www.oldcitysports.com, old spelled OLDE. Check out all the other good shows on there. The mayor is designing a show. The mayor. What do we got going on, dude? Let's go.
All right. Well, we got an Eagle show in the works on Old City Sports Network. So excited to join the crew, guys. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. We've put together a great crew. Myself, Jake Long, who you all know, long timer here at Old City Sports Network. And I'm bringing in an outside guy, new to podcasting, super intelligent football mind, my buddy Kyle Sharp. And we're going to have Kevin McHugh on the 1s and 2s. We're diving deep into this thing. There's going to be some great production aspects. We're going to incorporate some video. And we're really going to do a deep dive into the Philadelphia Eagles. And we're looking at first episode for Monday, February 28th. So make sure you're planning your day around that. Most likely going to be sometime around 7 o'clock. That's Monday, February 28th. Follow us on Twitter. Getting ready to launch the Twitter. Already have it set up. Haven't started using it yet. It will be active very shortly. It's going to be at Sunday Birds Pod on Twitter. Get ready, guys. Sundays for the Birds is going to be the #1 Eagles podcast in the city, and we are so excited to bring it to you.
I love that name. I mean, you can't not like that name.
No, absolutely. And you know what, guys? It's the only podcast that'll make every day feel like Sunday.
Oh, my God. And he comes with a slogan. I love it. I didn't know you guys had a date. You guys are ready to rock and roll with the date as well.
We just discussed that last night. We had a little meeting here with the crew. We're ready to rock and roll. Just got to get intros and logos put together, and then we're off and running.
That's great. And with that being said, like we've said before, if you need some work done by allowanceconcrete.com, go to Frank the Animal. He's best in the biz. Facebook.com/Ice Wars International. Twitter and Instagram at ISIS War, www.iwifights.com. We are also sponsored by ililli. If you are in the media, in the press, anything, need a schedule of some sort, got some interesting things to say, go to your app store or your, if you got an iPhone, what's that called? Just an app store. Google Play Store if you got an Android, ililli.co, whatever you got to do. That's a great thing. We're using it as much as we can. Also, Loogaroo.co. There are new guys. We're going to start pushing that as heavily as we possibly can. That he's doing some great things for us as well. And with that being said, Mayor, thank you so much for coming on. It's always great having you. If you also Mayor John Street Hockey, go check them out as well on whatever platform you listen to. I think it's probably
available
Google.
Anywhere you get your podcast. Follow us on Twitter at John ST Hockey, Facebook.com/John Street Hockey.
There you go. And Wade, welcome back in the alley.
That's right.
It's been a while, man. I can't do it anymore without you. So if you can't do it, we're not doing it. Also, our other sponsors, Bodychek Wellness, go to www.bodychekwellness.com. Use promo code OCS for 25% off your hemp-derived CBD needs. Sterling Pig in Media, Pennsylvania at sterlingpig.com. Go try all their great craft beers and some of their food. Go in the restaurant. And we will see you guys next week. Check out Weekdays in the Alley. Should be on Wednesdays. So everybody, thank you so much for coming out, guys. And we will